Welcome to Dream Caucus, the ones without merit. I'm your host, Sora Belaine, and today we're diving into a story out of Duluth that has teachers, parents, and community members wondering, when does a public comment cross the line into professional intimidation? On December 16, 2025, the Duluth Public Schools School Board held what should have been a standard listening session. But the atmosphere shifted when Duluth Federation of Teachers, Local 692, Leadership Associate, a special education teacher, took the mic. Jubenville didn't just talk about district policy. He used his 3 minutes to go after a small group of fellow educators who had earlier criticized the union. He called their concerns propaganda and toxicity. Now, on the surface, that might sound like standard political bickering, but here's why it's different. Jubenville isn't just a teacher. He's a union steward, a negotiator, and a QLT participant. When someone with that kind of insider authority uses a public recorded forum to single out and discredit colleagues, it stops being a private citizen's opinion and starts looking like role-based intimidation. Compare Jim's approach to the comments made by 2 Dream Caucus members at the same meeting. The first Dream Caucus member spoke as a special education teacher about institutional structures and conflicts of interest. He raised concerns about the DFT managing $4.7 million in assets and how that impacts negotiations. The second Dream Caucus member focused on transparency, asking for open negotiation so the community can see how decisions affecting class sizes are actually made. Our caucus members addressed systems. They didn't name individual teachers or accuse them of misconduct to harm their employment. Their speech is exactly what public participation rules are designed to protect: criticism of organizations and governance. In addition, our members spoke and shared information that are public records through 990 forms, LM2, under the Office of Labor Management, District Data, and State Audit. But for Jim Jubenville, the legal forecast is much stormier. By using a board-controlled forum to correct the record on internal union disputes, he may have tripped several wires. PELRA violations. Under Minnesota law, union agents cannot coerce or retaliate against members for exercising their rights. Using a public meeting to shame dissenters is a classic way to chill speech. Board policy. District rules generally prohibit personal attacks and using public comment for purposes unrelated to district governance. Hostile work environment. When a steward, someone who is supposed to represent all members, publicly attacks them, it creates a professionally inappropriate and potentially hostile environment. Here is the bottom line for the Duluth School Board. Silence is not neutrality. The board can't just say, "This is a union matter." Once they have notice of harassment or the misuse of their forum, they have a legal duty to act. If they ignore these complaints, the district itself could face liability under the Minnesota Human Rights Act for deliberate indifference to a hostile environment. Jubenville might have thought he was just defending his leadership. Instead, he may have handed his critics the very evidence they need to prove a pattern of targeting and retaliation. Thanks for tuning in, and thank you for being here with us. Dream Caucus was born out of urgency shaped by repeated actions over time, not a single incident. Since November 2021, members have attempted to raise concerns through internal union processes, working closely with Education Minnesota, and repeatedly seeking resolution with Duluth Federation of Teachers leadership. In February 2023, DFT Leadership and Associates publicly singled out a female member, using dehumanizing language in front of the membership, after she asserted her right to review the union's financial audit. In the fall of 2024, during a membership meeting, Jim Jubenville told a DFT BIPOC member that his experiences of discrimination and racism were without merit. Most recently, the actions of DFT associates at the December 16th District School Board meeting made clear that these patterns continue. Rather than addressing these concerns, DFT leadership has chosen to double down, engaging in behavior that undermines solidarity, silences members, and contradicts the core principles of union democracy. Dream Caucus is made up of DFT members and stewards from multiple schools, fellow educators, parents, and community members. We are committed to confronting discrimination, disinformation, and retaliation, especially when it comes from those in positions of union leadership. Before we sign off, we want to be absolutely clear with our listeners, the Duluth Federation of Teachers, and the ISD 709 School Board. The voices you heard today are not unauthorized opinions. They are rank-and-file educators exercising rights protected by law and by our union's own constitution. We formally assert those protected rights. Under federal law, the LMRDA guarantees union members the right to speak, organize, and dissent. Under Minnesota's PELRA statute, retaliation or coercion for exercising those rights is an unfair labor practice. Under the Minnesota Human Rights Act, retaliation, including intimidation or harassment, is illegal when someone opposes discrimination. And under the DFT Constitution itself, members are entitled to democracy, transparency, and freedom from discrimination or backroom dealings. To those who label dissent as toxicity or propaganda, context matters. Speech that may be permissible from a private individual becomes harmful and policy violating when it is wielded by someone in authority against their peers. And to the school board, silence after notice is often treated as endorsement. We will continue to speak until integrity, accountability, and merit return to leadership. Thank you for listening to Dream Caucus. Stay tuned for our next episode. Dream Caucus, the ones without merits.
We want to close by reiterating that this episode is not a final conclusion and not an attempt to adjudicate intent. It is a documentation of statements, records, and member concerns that already exist. We welcome corrections, clarifications, or responses from any individuals or organizations discussed. If responses are received, they will be acknowledged and shared in good faith. Our intent is simple: to ensure that members have access to accurate information, understand their rights, and can participate in union and district processes without fear of being mischaracterized or silenced. Transparency is not propaganda. Public records are not misinformation. Asking questions is not disloyalty. Thank you for listening, and we encourage you to review the source materials directly and stay engaged.